Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from the Meadowlands Racetrack here on Saturday. It is October the 1st, 2016. I'm going to look at all the races on the Meadowlands program tonight. Before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections from racetracks around the world. And I mean it, around the world. You know, uh, with the weather here in New York and the Jersey area, it doesn't look good for for Saturday's card. Friday's card got canceled. Saturday's card, there is some off and on showers right now for Saturday. It's not. It's right now. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, early Saturday morning, and it's not raining now. But we're gonna get some rain later on in the day. Then it's gonna clear up a little bit. But maybe they can run, but I'm doing these selections just in case. But so let's get on to it. Starting off with race number one from the Big M. It's maiden claim race, purse $12,500 for maidens, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 13 horses. The 13 horse isn't also eligible, traveling a mile and 1/16 on the turf course. The rail will be set at 0 feet. A mile and a 16th. And my top selection here, I'm going to go to the rail horse, number one, After Cheney at 6-1. Going to go 112 410. 112 410 here in the Superfecta. Number one, After Cheney, 6-1. Orlando Boca Chica for Nick Zito. Last time out, run at Suffolk Downs a mile, September the 4th, and a maiden race for 12.50. So I finished 5th by 9 lengths that day as a favorite. Was a little bit wide at the first turn, had a horrible trip, was breaking for the 9-hole, just was wide all throughout, really didn't have a really good closing kick. Dropping down to the maiden 10 today, to the claiming 10, I think that should be a good spot. Start before this horse ran Saratoga mile 8th and a maiden 30,000 on July the 29th. This horse finished 9th by 48 1/4 lengths against a lot tougher horses. From the 5-hole, this horse just was out wide. Really couldn't do a wide trip. He can't do that at Saratoga going a mile 8th. And start before him, Suffolk, 7.5 rounds in a maiden 25. Switch finished second by a nose. It was a very game second. I think 6-1 is a great price on this one. I really like this horse's chances here today. If this race goes as scheduled and they don't cancel the card, 6-1, I would love to see this horse. If you could lock in the odds on Betfair in Jersey on this horse at 6-1, I would, because I think he has a strong chance of winning here today. Gets Orlando Boca Chica, who so far at this meet is 9-3, with a small offering of this meet. There's only been 2 days run already, so he's running at a 33%. Nick Zito has 25% of his runners coming into money here at the Big M so far, 4-1. So I'm going to use this horse as a top selection. Like I said, I think he should really do well. Those last 2 turf races were, his last 2 races were good. If he stays on the rail and gets a good safe ground trip, I think he should do well. So to recap my bets for race number one from the Meadowlands Racetrack here on the Saturday night, I'm going to go with the horse After Cheney. I'm going to go 112 410. 112 410. So now, let's get on to race number 2 from the Meadowlands, which is a maiden claim race, purse $12,500 for maidens, fillies, mares, drills, and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses going for a claim price of $10,000, traveling 5 furlongs on the turf course at the Big M. 5 furlongs. And my top selection here will go to the 5 horse, number 5, Mama Pajama. If you're playing the pick 5 or pick 6, I would single this one. I really, this horse, looking at this pick 6 sequence, a little tricky here. You have some very tricky races in this card. I think this is the logical way to single here, because I think he has a lot of speed and should do well over this turf course. I'm going to go 5-1-6-7. 5-1-6-7, number 5, Mama Pajama. 3-2, Paco Lopez. Last time out, ran at Monmouth Park, about 5.5 furlongs, August 27th, and maiden 20,000. Horse finished third by 4 lengths. He was stalking the lead early on, or on the lead all throughout, but was drifting a little bit and really didn't keep a head straight in the stretch. It just wasn't the horse's best run. It was the horse's first start on turf also. I think he should improve today on turf. Start before it came at Monmouth, 5.5 furlongs, August 12th, and a maiden 30,000. Horse finished 4th by 9 lengths that day. He set the pace early on, or stalking the pace early on, and just tired. It was a little bit wide also, and then a break from 9-hole post position also, and then a 5.5 Monmouth, July the 2nd, and maiden 40. Horse finished 4th by 7 lengths, stalking or out leading that day. He was dueling this weekend. I think he has a lot of speed. Looking over this race, I think he might be the speed of the speed. He's the only kind of real speed that jumps out at me. If he could set some slow fractions and go away with it, I think this horse could do well. 3-2. I know it's not the best price in the world to get here at the Meadowlands, but I'll take it. So to recap my bets for race number 2 from the Meadowlands Racetrack on this Saturday night, probably going to be a rainy Saturday night. I'm going to go with the 5 horse here, Mama Pajama. I'm going to go 5167, 5167. So now let's get on to race number 3 from the Meadowlands, which is a main claim race, purse $15,000 for maidens, 3-year-olds, and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses traveling the distance of ground of a mile on this turf course at the Big M. A mile. And my top selection here will go to the 3 horse, number 3, Swift Traveler at 8-1. I'm going to go 3-8-1-4, 3-8-1-4. Number 3, Swift Traveler, 8-1 for Francisco Masonette on this one. Last time out, ran a Monmouth for mile 16th, September the 24th, and maiden 20,000. Horse finished third by 3 lengths with the 7-pound bug up that day. Was just closing a little bit on the inside, but really didn't have the best of starts. It just wasn't the best of runs for this horse that day. I don't know why. Just wasn't suiting him. He did step up to a maiden 20 that day from maiden 14, start before at Monmouth Park, 1 mile, August 19th. This horse finished 8th by 12 and a quarter lengths that day. This horse just had a horrible race. He just tired, had a bad start. It just wasn't his day. I think this horse should improve here. His last start was decent. He was closing up a little bit. Go back to July the 15th run in maiden 18,000. This horse finished 4th by 4 lengths that day. It was a little bit wide and weakened, but if this horse could save some ground, I think that's going to be the key with this one. He's breaking from the rail for the first time in quite a while in a turf race. I think that's the key. This horse has never won. He has 1 second place finish in 2/3, but I think this horse, like I said, should be really improving here. 8-1. Going to take my horse the chances with this one with the rail post position. So to cap my bets for race number 3 from the Meadowlands Racetrack, going to go with the 3 horse Swift Traveler. Going to go 3-8-1-4. 3-8-1-4 from the Big M. So now let's get on to race number 4. The 4th race from the Big M is a maiden claiming race, purse $17,500 for maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds. We have a field of 8 horses traveling the distance of ground of 5 furlongs on the turf course. Rail will be set at 0 feet all night. 5 furlongs. And going for a claim price of $35,000 here in race 4. And I think this is one of my favorite races here. I'm going to go to the 5 horse Pink Cashmere as a top selection. Going to go 5-3-1-4, 5-3-1-4. Number 5 Pink Cashmere, 5-1. Pedro Cotto Jr. is on this one for Ben Perkins Jr. Last time out, ran at Monmouth 5.5 furlongs August 28th and made special weight for 45,000. Horse finished 4th by 7.5 lengths. He set the pace early on and then just weekend. I think on turf this horse should really do well. He's dropping down in class from maiden special weight to a maiden 35, so that's something. Start before, and plus that last race was against non-fillies. That was against a race for all sexes. It just wasn't restricted to fillies. So keep that in mind also. Start before it came in fillies main special weight against state-bred horses at Monmouth 5.5 furlongs on August 5th. Horse finished 8th by 22 3/4 lengths. Had a bad start that day. Did not do well. I think, like I said, I think this horse should do well. If she sets the pace. The winner of her last start out, My Carrots, was a winner next start out also. So I'm going to take my chances with this one here. So to recap my bets for the 4th race from the Meadowlands Racetrack here on the Saturday night, going to go with the 5 horse. Going to put him into a superfecta. Going to go 5-3-1-4, 5-3-1-4 in the 4th from the Meadowlands. So now let's get on to race number 5. It's a claiming race, purse $20,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, never won 2 races. We have a field of 11 horses traveling a mile on the turf course. A lot of people ask me, why do I show this diagram? It gives me a second to really look down at my notes and read them. So that's why. They're traveling a mile here, and here in race 5, and my top selection here will go to the 8-1 horse, number 3, Surprising Soul. Surprising, I'm going with this one. Gonna go 3-9-2-8, 3-9-2-8. Number 3, Surprising Soul. 8-1. Last time out, ran a Penn National September 3rd, 1 mile, claiming 20,000. Horse finished 2nd by 4 lengths that day. Was just a little bit wide at the turn. It was all out in the stretch, but couldn't catch Midnight Dance, who ran really well. If you watch the replay, Midnight Dance, this horse wasn't catching him that day. Start before came at Penn National, mile 16th. First time gelding, June 22nd, mile 16th Penn National, made 25,000. This horse won by 3 lengths. Got the lead at the quarter pole and then really took off. Very nice closing victory. And then June the 12th, Parks Racing, mile 16, mains 25. Horse finished second by 5 lengths. Couldn't catch the winner, Baffy's corner, who ran really well. Since they took this horse to turf, he's been really improving. I think he should like the Meadowlands turf course here today. He's run over a wet turf course at Great Meadows. I think that's one of those fair meets down in Virginia or something. This horse finished third by 2 lengths on that turf course. He was rallying that day, according to the running line. Could not find a replay for that race, though. But I'm going to go with this one here. So to recount my bets for race number 5 from the Meadowlands Racetrack, going to go with the 3-horse Surprising Soul. Going to go 3-9-2-8, 3-9-2-8. So now let's get on to race number 6 from the Big M, which is a claim race per $17,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. Number 1, 3 races. Field of 9 horses traveling 5 furlongs on the turf course. 5 furlongs. And my top selection here will go to the 5-horse, number 5, Lakeview Lady. Gonna go 5-3-8-2. 5-3-8-2 here in the nightcap from the Big M. Number 5, Lakeview Lady, 3-1. Last time out, we're at Belmont Park, September the 14th. 6 furlongs on the inner turf course, an allowance race for $62,000. Horse finished 7th by 6.5 lengths that day with the 7-pound Bug Rider. This horse was wide and just weakened that day. It wasn't his best of starts from the outside post position. He gets a middle pack post position today, which I think is the key. And he's not facing as nearly as tough horses. He's dropping down the class ladder quite quickly. Start before came Saratoga, 5.5 furlongs. August 20th, allowance race 75,000. The horse finished 6th by 3 3/4 lengths that day. He just really couldn't get up there. It just was a disappointing start. At this distance, he's 7-0. He's 25-2 lifetime, but his last win, we have to go back to at least 2014. I think he should like this turf course. Never started on it. His last races at 5 furlongs have come at Gulfstream Park earlier this year, January 22nd, 5 furlongs off turf, claiming 16,000. He finished 7th. He ran in, or she ran in claiming 16s at Gulfstream late last year. Finished 8th, 3rd, and 6th. I think she should be improving over this turf course. She faced a lot tougher last few starts. I'm going to take my chances here with this one. So to recap my bets for the nightcap, race number 6 from the Meadowlands Racetrack, going to go with the 5-horse here. Going to put this horse into a superfecta. Going to go 5-3-8-2. 5-3-8-2. So good luck to all and follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.